What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today it is Dokkan Day, so I figured we would jump in for another little update video here. Sorry about the lack of content on the channel lately, just haven't been super inspired and motivated toward, pushing out a bunch of content for YouTube. But because I am still grinding away on Dokkan, I really want to try to avoid those, multiple month-long spans of me not posting anything or not giving you guys any updates at all about what's going on with the account. So I figured Dokkan Day would be the perfect opportunity to give you guys a little update here. So yeah, we're just going to go over quite a few things in the video. First off, you can see that I'm already grinding the Chamber of Spirit and Time event. It just went live. It is literally just a couple minutes after the 4 p.m. Daily reset here. And just got home from work, so I will be able to grind for the entirety of this Dokkan Day, because I actually don't have a shift until tomorrow at like 5 p.m., which will be after Dokkan Day ended, right? So lucky for me, I'm going to be able to enjoy the full fruits of this one, so that'll be pretty good stuff. Okay, so I wanted to make sure to get one run in there just so that my boost can start counting down again, since the day did just reset. So we got our one run in there. We are going to be going with this strat for the entirety of the thing. Oh, well, here, I want to let my stamina count up since I'm not going to do another stage. But yeah, so using the Piccolo Jr. strat here, it's kind of what I recommend a lot of people do. If you're someone who doesn't really care about the stone usage and you're willing to just grind, to your heart's extent on Dokkan Day, you're going to get the quickest amount of grinding done probably if you use the Piccolo Jr. team. You don't even necessarily have to have his team or like units that are on his leader skill. Just straight up using him as a lead and the friend lead should suffice you well enough. You're going to be getting really, really fast runs in here. So that's what I recommend. Especially if you're a long-time player that's not link leveling like really good characters anymore and you're kind of just doing like, fodder units that are like 0% in the hidden potential system or God forbid like SRs and things like that. Definitely worth to have the Piccolo Jr. to carry, right? So none of those units have to take any hits or anything. But anyways, how do we like that? Starting the video with a tangent. Okay. So, the first thing that I want to update you guys on is, my, box here. So, there was something that I was doing for a little while, because all of the, after the reverse update happened, I lost all of my SSRs of all the free-to-play units in the game, so I had to go re-grind all of those. I have since finished all of that. Now, a lot of this show's available for training. It's just because I haven't gotten them to the max level that they need to be at yet, but they are all max SA. I have finished all of that. I just figured it would have been a waste of all of the training items and training locations to just max these all out to level 100 when on modern link leveling stages, 2 or 3 runs, they're going to be maxed out to level 100 anyway, so it doesn't really matter, right? So I figured I would just leave all of those. It does make my box look a little bit messy for right now, but it's totally fine. Just trust that all of these are fully SA'd already. There are actually a few at the top here that are not. So, I did a naughty thing. As you guys can see right here on screen, I did get GOMAH. So I did do some summons for GOMAH. Now, the reason this is a naughty thing is because I did it off camera. When the GOMAH banner went live, I was home. I could have recorded. I just didn't. I don't know. I just wasn't feeling it that day. I wasn't in the YouTuber mindset. So I did end up pulling for GOMAH. They were actually pretty successful summons for me, I will say. Because I got GOMAH, and not only did I get GOMAH, I also pulled Pycon and Tien, who I did not yet have, so that was really, really clutch. And then also this Piccolo, this banner unit Piccolo, I didn't have him either, so 4 brand new units for me on the one banner. That was a very, very lucrative summoning session. But then the other thing that you can see is there's all these other SSRs around that are sitting because, every unit in the game I now have to recollect the SSRs for. So basically every single SSR I pulled while summoning in that summoning session, I spent almost 1,000 stones. I got close to pity and then I got a Goku Black Rift and pulled the GOMAH. So yeah, close to 1,000 stones there. So yeah, lots of units that basically every single unit I pulled during that summoning session I have kept and held on to. So then there was a bunch more super attack feeding that I needed to do for all of these characters. And there are a few left here. So I did all of the grindable super attack leveling, and then now you can see we have these 5 units right here. So this Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta and Bulma, this Piccolo, this Super Saiyan Goku, and then this Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta. So all 5 of these units still need to be SA'd, but I was waiting to do this on camera because I can actually purchase them, right? So let's go ahead and go to the Green Incredible Gem Shop and pick up all the copies of them that we need. That should be good. We'll go ahead and see if there's any goodies in here. Nothing great. Okay. All right. So we need... What do we need here? First, we need the Super Saiyan Goku, right? We need 9 of those for him. Perfect. The Piccolos, we're going to need 18 because there's 2 of them. And then for the Vegetas, we're also going to need 18 because there will be 2 of them as well. All of these ones will feed. The reverse update has made this so nice to be able to feed in characters this way. Super attack leveling is just so much easier just because, you know, like obviously Super Saiyan 2, Vegeta, and Bulma would have been a little bit of a funky unit to grind, though I guess there is technically a free-to-play unit with the same name, but you know, you would have to Dokkan Awaken it and all of that stuff. It's just a whole, like, awkward process, whereas now, because the base version of that card is just a Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta, we can just straight up feed in the copies of this card and it's good to go. So yeah, there we go. All of those are taken care of, and now I'm not going to bother, because I will have to actually awaken all of those units, right? In order to feed them in for 100% chance, so I'm not going to bother doing all that on camera, but I did just want to show off me using the Incredible Gems on camera. I'm trying to do that anytime that I spend Incredible Gems randomly. I like to get it recorded just so that, because, you know, I have done the rough calculations, and it looks like I have spent over 1.5 million Incredible Gems to date, and I only have about 400,000 sitting in my box to show for right now. So just as kind of proof of the fact that I've owned these Incredible Gems, I like showing the sales on camera, right? Or I guess the purchasing on camera. Okay, so that part is done. So now our box is finished again. No more new units to grind up. Now it's just back to link leveling. So this current filter is the team building tag. So any of the top copies of units that I'll actually use to put on teams, this is filtered by any of the ones that I have left to link level. So as you can see, all of these units here, I still do need to link level. We have been a little bit behind on the link leveling just because of that, because of all the other stuff that's been going on, right? All the other things we've had to grind in the account. So yeah, but now we are to the point where the workshop is refilled. We're good to go. So now we, for the past couple of days, have been link leveling a lot again. Now I did preemptively farm up all of these Epic Showdown Gokus to be able to link level, but unfortunately that is just going to have to take a back seat to, you know, replenishing all of these other units that I have recently gotten. So the goal for today is going to be just to stay focused on leveling up any non-Earthbred fighter characters, because I am primarily using stage 38-7 for my link leveling throughout each day right now, because 38-7 is the Yamcha stage, right? So 38-7 being only against one enemy, I am easily able to you know, clear it with the Yamcha team like this. So this is kind of what we've been running with. This is what we're doing on the daily. I did actually put out a PSA in a couple of different spaces. It was a couple of different Discords, actually. I don't think that I went to Twitter, and I actually haven't said anything about it on my YouTube yet, so I guess I'll say it now. I am looking for Yamcha friends. This is a really, really important thing for me. Ideally, right now, if I could help it, I would have 100 out of 100 of my friends be Yamchas. That would be really, really convenient for me. Because like I said, I have been jumping back into this stage. This is the stage that I'm playing all day, every day, for the most part. There's another thing we'll talk about in a minute, too. But yeah, with playing this stage over and over, it's really, really helpful for me to have those Yamcha friends because of friend points. So if we notice here, let's go ahead and do this. There we go. So if you notice here, I have been collecting quite a few Yamcha friends. We do have a lot of them to use here. But notice, I mean, we have a boost on, so we're getting double the friend points, but we're getting the 100 friend points for each of these, right? Whereas all of the guest units, you're going to be getting half the amount because you only get the 100, right? Where it'd normally be 50 without the boost. And the thing is, what I've noticed is happening here, and this is, ideally, this has been a problem for years now, since they started adding the dev friends in, is that, if you have, so like, let's say right now, the Yamcha that it's auto-populating, I'm not actually sure which one it is, let's just assume because he's at the top of the list that it's populating Lotad into here. What it's going to do on the very next run is it's going to basically assign Lotad as like a dev friend. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Unplugging the cord on myself, sorry about that. But yeah, so basically, if you use a dev friend for the first time, it will just show up with the friend points available because you haven't used it yet. But then it'll automatically keep repopulating it so you get the exact same Yamcha right here, and you'll be getting 0 friend points for it every time because it's the dev friend that you've already used once for that day, so then you just get no more friend points. So basically, for years now, I've been running these stages over and over and over again and not earning any friend points while I'm doing it because it's just feeding dev friends at me over and over and over, right? So what I'm doing now is I am being much more diligent about manually selecting my friend leads, so I will make sure to be picking one that's giving me friend points, right? And as you can see in here, we did have the Piccolo Jr. that was like pre-filtered in before we you know, X'd out of this, because the alternate stage that I'm using, aside from 38.7, is the best one in the game, 35.6 here. So we're using this stage quite a bit as well. This is where I'm farming, you know, non-Earthbred fighter characters to get them leveled up and stuff. So yeah, for this stage, I can't really grind this one all day every day when I'm like out and about or just distracted doing other things, whatever. I usually default to the Yamcha stage, because on this stage, if you don't end up rolling with a Piccolo Jr. on turn 1, it's very easy to get KO'd, right? Now, like, obviously, because I'm link leveling, like, real units that are new additions to my box and stuff, that's not as much of a problem, especially because right now we have GOMAH, who is the single-handed best unit in the game, like, by far, and also is an AoE unit, so the 5 enemies in this stage aren't really going to be a problem for him. But then aside from that, you know, we also have, like, other LRs and real TURs on the team and stuff. But regardless, it does just take a lot longer if you do miss out on the AoE for that first turn, right? So I only really prioritize using this stage when I'm sitting at my desk and I'm able to actively focus on Dokkan, and then I have the Ghost Usher loaded up there too, so that if worst comes to worst, I don't get a Piccolo Jr. on turn 1, and GOMAH isn't there able to select the orbs to get him his 18 key to do the AoE, then I just Ghost Usher, I try and get everyone in the least amount of key as possible, so I'm only doing normal attacks, and then it just filters to the next stage, or the next turn, and then we just go back to auto, and it's all fine, right? So yeah, that's kind of what I've been going with for the past couple of days with link leveling here. So yeah, it's basically right back to it. Now once I get all of the units finished up that I was, oh, I guess it would be here. Yeah, once all of these units were done. So let me backtrack just a second here. The very first thing that I was trying to do, let's do this. Oh, this is actually a bit awkward. Wait, is Frieza done? Frieza has finished. Okay, so I actually have just completed the mission that I was trying to complete. So there were quite a few units where, when refarming the SSR copies of them, so the Frieza I'm refarming is this version right here because it got awakened up to here. But with a lot of these units, for the ones that drop as SRs, there were quite a few of them that have different links between SR from when you Dokkan awaken them up to their SSR form. So you can see I have the 4 copies extra sitting right here for the dupe paths to fill into, you know, to feed into this guy. But because of, what was it? What's the one? Thirst for Conquest. Thirst for Conquest is, that link disappears once you awaken him, so I needed to actually get that one to link level 10 first before I could level him up, right? So I had a solid, like, 15 or so units in my box that were sitting that way, and I just wanted to get those ones finished first. That way I could do exactly what I'm going to do right now. So let's go ahead and, let me just double check. Yeah, this is the right Frieza. So we'll go ahead and awaken him up, and then get him all the way up to the UR state, and then there we go. Now we'll be able to feed in his dupes. So I have not fed in any of the dupes for any of those characters yet, so we can go to the Hidden Potential tab really quick, and I can show you guys what that's looking like. Go here. Ooh. Okay. Oh, it's actually going to be a lot. Yeah, so all these flashing rainbow ones, these ones are all ones that I had to do that with. But you can see they're all up to their UR forms now, so they have all been taken care of. I am going to be able to go and feed in those dupes. Again, not going to bother doing it on camera. Won't waste your guys' time with that, but that is another part of the process that is complete, because right now this is taking up a bit of extra box space for me, right? With all of these units having an extra 4 copies sitting in the box, I just wanted to get that out of the way as soon as possible, just to deplete any of the clutter that would be remaining, you know, sitting in my box. Because my box space is not that plentiful these days, especially because of all those Gokus that I farmed up and stuff. We're looking a little bit slim at the moment. Total box space, look at that. 4584 out of 4790. So getting a little bit cluttered. Now obviously there is still some garbage at the top here, you can see, and then I haven't gotten rid of any of the like rares or SRs from my summoning session, so yeah, there is quite a bit of fodder sitting in here. We are going to be able to deplete that number down by about 100, but yeah, just want to get as low as possible to have as much flexibility with the extra box space as I can. Okay, what is the next thing that we want to talk about? Let's talk about, oh, this is huge. Okay, we can actually do this. Let me pull up this page on the side real quick. So, Dark Russ, a wonderful, fabulous community member who has, befriended me recently. I've talked about this individual a couple of times before. In previous videos, they're the person who created a bot in a Discord server, being able to, you know, peek at power level leaderboards and the like. Yeah, this player has, you know, mined a lot of data for the individual accounts on the global version of the game and is able to show a lot of stats for things. So he sent me an updated version of this spreadsheet. I didn't realize he had sent me yet, so we can actually take a look at this, which is awesome. Let me see. Is this gonna work? There we go. Okay, so this spreadsheet here, I think I did show off an older variant of this spreadsheet before. This is just showing all of my stats for link leveling, basically. So, you know, just showing all of the different things, my number of quest clears, my Dokkan Awakenings, basically all of the parameters that are measured to gain power level with, are all displayed right here. And then, you know, this is showing like how much power level per day I'm able to get, things like that. How many days between each of the updates, the delta power being like the total number of power level earned in that time period and stuff. So if we come down and look here, I can draw your attention to the very left side of the screen. You can see the dates here. This is what it's looking like for October. Like October or November, I'm sorry. So yeah, it was like October, November. This was kind of the time where we weren't really link leveling much, was like through this kind of section right here. Okay, so this is showing us, if we pay attention to the very right column, we might be able to see something interesting. Yeah, actually it starts higher, doesn't it? I think it starts higher. It's like all here. Okay, so if we look at this, the links at 10 per Dokkan Awakened unit. That's what this is comparing a fractional number for. It makes sense that you would, you know, essentially every one or maybe 2 Dokkan Awakenings you get, because if it's an LR, there'd be 2 per unit, you're going to be getting about 7 links leveled up, right? Because 7 links on a card versus the average 1 or 2 Dokkan Awakenings per card. So ideally, this number should always be increasing. As you're link leveling more and more units, if you're constantly link leveling, as you're constantly obtaining units, then this number should always be increasing, because you should always have more and more and more link level 10s per Dokkan Awakened unit, right? And for the most part, that is true. You can see this number going up and up and up. It actually goes down here at the very start of the year, which is kind of funny. Well, that's in May. But yeah, for the most part, it does go up. So you can see it rising, steadily increasing, all the way through, let's see, where is it at? All the way to here. And then at the beginning of September, this is when I finished my box. And then this is where I started farming up all of those Epic Showdown Gokus. So you can see the amount of Dokkan Awakened characters that I had went up by so much that this fractional number went down because I was not link leveling, right? And then you can see that the numbers are increasing very, very slowly here, and then they actually dip back down again, right? I mean, if you take a glance at, like, we go to 6, and then we're up to 7, we're in the 7 1s, we're in the 7 2s, and then we're in the 7 3s, and then look at how long we're in 7 3 and 4. 3 and 4, 3 and 4, all the way to here until we finally get to 5. and then we're at 5 for a second, we go up to 6, awesome. This is probably what, like Dokkan Day? Yeah, this is probably because of Dokkan Day, getting a ton of links done, right, in these couple of days here. And then we stay stagnant again because we're not link leveling, like, at all. And we're not gaining any Dokkan Awakenings at this point because we are just farming up SSR copies of all these characters, right? And without the reverse update, we're not Dokkan Awakening them and then reversing them to keep as SSR. They're just straight up not getting Dokkan Awakenings. So there's nothing happening with the account for basically the whole month of October because I'm just grinding free-to-play units. So yeah, all of that was very, very stagnant. And it does show in the numbers here too, are really, really low. So if we look here, you know, my averages, these are all averaging out to like these are per day. Per day. So the total delta power is here, right? These are the amount of power level earned over that time period, and then this is the average per day. You can see how big it is there, and then obviously that gigantic number is definitely because of Dokkan Day. And then right after that, look at measly nothing. Just nothing. All of these like 4-digit numbers are so low. This is insane for me. 1,000, 3,000, 1,000, 16,000. Had a little bit of a day there. But again, that's the 16th, so that's Dokkan Day, where we did end up doing some. Then literally 62, no. 1,000, 4,000, 4,000, right? So not doing the hottest, not doing the hottest. September and October were very, very rough, and then obviously the very beginning of November here has not been the most lucrative. Here we can actually see there was an actual subtraction in the amount that I had there, which is really, really sad. But the reason for this is because of having a bunch of units in my box that I had. This was prior to the power level update, I believe, when I had Dokkan Awakened a bunch of free-to-play units, dupes. So basically, like all the super strikes that start as SR, you have to Dokkan Awaken them up to UR, and then previously what you had to do was Dokkan Awaken all of their dupes up to the same rarity to be able to feed them in. So I did all of that in preparation for the reverse update, and then after the reverse update, I realized that you no longer have to Dokkan Awaken the units to feed them in as dupes, so that was just kind of a whoopsie. But I had like over 100 units in my box that were Dokkan Awakened that were just sitting there waiting to be fed into dupes, right? So after feeding all of those in and simultaneously not link leveling, my power level actually went down. Which is really funny stuff. Down by actually 10. So huge coincidence there, but that's really, really funny that happened, just because of getting rid of so many Dokkan Awakened units. Well, I guess it went down by 30 during that time period, but yeah, really, really funny stuff. So now we are looking a little bit more normal over the last couple of days here. We're starting to get back in the swing of things, you know, getting right back on track with link leveling the way that we once were. So yeah, that is what things are looking like right now. We can go ahead and take a look at the leaderboards, I suppose, as well. Might as well glance at them, no time like the present. So as far as the online Dokkan Info power level leaderboard, this is what things are looking like. I don't really come here too often anymore for a couple of reasons. So, I mean, the first and most important of which is that, like, nothing's really moving, right? Nothing really happens, just because we're all very stagnant and so far apart that it's not like there's any shifting happening between this leaderboard, right? Another thing is that I was trying really, really hard to pass the truth for a while, and unfortunately that celebration kind of got taken away from me because of the reverse removal update. With a lot of the dupes that Truth has in his box, he's been getting rid of them. He's literally just been bobbing units that are link level 10 to replace them as he gets, you know, a copy of that unit again, and then is able to, like, replace the SSR. So his power level has gone down almost 100, or almost 1 million. He was at, actually, I think has gone down by over 1 million, yeah. Because when I was at 24 something, I remember he was at 25.8. And now he's all the way down at 24.6. So while I was really, really close behind him and getting to the point of being able to pass him, his power level just started dropping off like crazy. And then I passed him because his went down, not because mine went up. I literally passed him during the time period here, where I, like, wasn't link leveling at all. Or actually, I think it was, like, here. Yeah, it was like here. It was like the end of October. And I passed him, and I was not adding anything to my link leveling, and he just dropped so dramatically that I was like, okay, I guess I'm ahead of him now. So I didn't really feel like it was necessary for me to make a whole video about it, just because it, you know, felt like less of an accomplishment. It was just weird. It just, I don't know. I'm still a little bit salty about it, to be honest. But, you know, like, he is obviously the biggest whale in the game, and it is cool to be able to have a leg up on him with something, right? Like, obviously, you know, I got to celebrate back in the day when I got the Have a Little Power Pull Weapon Super title before him. So I was able to make a whole YouTube video kind of celebrating about that, being the first person in the world to achieve it and stuff. But yeah, this just didn't have the same glamorous, you know, feeling to it when it happened. So haven't really been paying attention to that. And then all three of these JP players on top, I'm assuming, are out of box space, because these numbers for all of them have really not moved much at all. over the past months at this point. So it seems like they are pretty much out of box space, unable to link level, in the same boat as Truth, and pretty much it's just going to be me grinding through here. And we are getting decently close to catching up to Nagi, so we should be passing them soon enough, and then, you know, I'll probably make an individual video just about that. But, you know, as you can see, still needing about 10 million power level, it's gonna be a while before we get to these top two here, right? So not really too much use in me coming in here and checking out things with this leaderboard at this point. Honestly, the next thing, aside from me passing Nagi, is I'm rooting for Frenwen to pass Truth. So let's go, Frenwen. Get your grind on, buddy. I want to see it happen. And then, yeah, it'll be cool to see Danshin and Nini CP, you know, peak up above these 20 million marks. It seems like there's quite a few more people that are, you know, right there on their way. I know Living Ichigo has been heavy on the grind again too, so he's probably someone else that we're gonna see shooting up above 20 million before long. So yeah, will be really cool. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the power level leaderboard in the Discord server here, just because we do have access to. Oh, I guess we might as well show my data. Might as well. And then we'll do the leaderboard as well. Oh, it's probably not loading because it's trying to... Yeah, it's in the middle of loading my my data, so it won't do the thing. Okay, hold on. Please? Why is it taking so long? Oh my goodness. Okay, well, we'll let this... Oh, there we go. Okay, cool. So yeah, this just shows my little... you know, update for the past couple of days. So this is over the past 2 days, 23 hours. So yeah, it's like a 3-day. Every 3 days he goes and updates this. So yeah, it looks like I was about at like 41,000 power level per day, which is reflected in what we saw in the spreadsheet, right? Same deal as like the last row of that spreadsheet. This is the same information that we would have seen there. And then okay, the leaderboard. That's the thing that I really wanted to look at. Let's go. Oh shoot. Leaderboard. Okay, we'll pull up the power level one. Okay. Because, yeah, this is going to include a couple of players, right? Migate, Poimao, and Zaptrix, who are not on that other list. So there we go. Few different players. Oh, my goodness, Migate, you're killing me, bud. Okay, so Zaptrix decently behind me. We still don't know who this player is, but I am keeping a close eye on them because, you know, it's very possible they could just end up going crazy out of nowhere. A little bit interesting that they only have 494. So it looks like they were not link leveling really at all during this last 3-day period, which is interesting. We do have the Dokkan Day update will be the next one that's coming though, and that is much more telling about who's willing and not willing to link level, right? Poimao obviously is at 0 because we know he's quit the game, so you know, I'll just have to get this exact number and then I'll be above him. That likely will not increase at all. And then Migate. Man, oh man, oh man. This is the white whale. This is the ultimate goal here, being able to pass Migate. I will say, I am happy to see 17,000. That makes me happy. Migate has been a very fast grinder for a really long time now. And just never letting up. And, yeah, just going so quick all the time. I want to say back when I was at like 14 million, he was at like 18 million. I think that sounds right. Yeah, so we have been going, that would make sense actually, that would track. Because then we've been going at about the same pace since we both gained about 10 million power level since then, right? So, oh, no, wait, I'm sorry. The information I said before was correct. When I was at 14, he was at 18. But now he's at 38, not 28. So he's been going twice as fast as me, basically. Which is absolutely insane. And obviously, there's a lot of factors that could contribute to that. I don't know what other stuff this player's doing in-game. I don't know if they're grinding... You know, I grind all my Easy A stages to level 100. I still complete every single little bit of content that comes through the game. I try my hardest in every single world tournament to rank really high. You know, I max out Petom battles. You know, I never miss an ultimate clash. Like, I always go for 7,000 points in burst mode, right? So I'm always doing these extended, like, extra grinds and stuff. And lately, over probably, I would say, like, the past 6 months or so, I have been a little bit more focused on trying to find a little more balance in my life and not just be a Dokkan head all day, every day, right? So while I am grinding still constantly and my phone is always in Dokkan mode, it means that maybe instead of refreshing my runs once every 35 seconds while I'm out and about or at a friend's house, you know, drinking, partying, having fun, maybe now I'm just refreshing it once every 5, 10, 15 minutes, right? So it's like a lot less grinding going into my daily life because I'm trying to be a little bit more heads up and not just, you know, face first into my phone all day, every day. So, yeah, so obviously makes sense that I've slowed down a little bit, but the main question that I have about Megate is where the cap is. And that's why I'm really excited to see this slowdown, because I'm hoping that that is an indicator that means the cap is coming. He is almost out of box space. I am praying that this player is almost out of box space. Because if we look at, you know, the comparison between where I'm at right now versus where he's, you know, and then how many characters I have left to link level versus how much extra box space I have on top of that I could potentially add characters to, and then, you know, compare that to where Migate's power level is at right now. We are kind of reaching the danger zone. If Megate gains too much more, a couple more million, it's looking likely I won't be able to, like, my maximum possible power level wouldn't be able to eclipse what Megate has, right? So, you know, obviously I'm hoping that one way to rectify that is by, you know, using those Epic Showdown Gokus, because if by the time I have like 800 of those in my box, that's going to be a huge leg up against him, because I know for a fact that he is not grinding the Epic Showdown Gokus at the current moment, at least. And I would assume that if he's not doing them now, it's because he never had been. This is what I wanted to do. Okay, so the reason that I know for sure he's not doing this is for two reasons. One, because this strategy does actually take, okay, well, this is a bad example. The last one was a better example. In fact, I think there's a better, hold on, there's a better way that we can look at this. Give me 1 second. I'm going to make a quick cut, and then we'll take a look at something. Okay, here we go. So it's that exact same spreadsheet, but this is the one for Megate. Now, this is not up to date. This only goes down to the end of October here, so we're a couple of updates behind, but that is perfectly fine. The main thing that I want to show off here is the Dokkan Awakenings. Yeah. So, okay. Check this out. We've got, we'll even just go, okay, so this is like August. Okay, so look, right here. We have, how many days is this? Let's see. Okay, so this right here is a 3-day time period, and there were 0 Dokkan Awakenings added. There was a lot of power level gained, a ton of power level gained, and 0 Dokkan Awakenings added. Right here, 1 more Dokkan Awakening, none here. We went down by 10. Okay, so that was probably some, like, dupe feeding in, some weirdness, right? Like what I explained happened to me earlier. Okay, then 26, barely anymore, going down again, back to where we were at, going down again, right? Not very much going on here. It also seems like, yeah, that's really weird. This does go down kind of quite a lot. I'm not really sure about that. That is a little bit interesting. Okay, neat. But yeah, so basically the point I'm trying to make here is, okay, so yeah, even very recently, the Dokkan Awakenings have, like, not been increasing. So the point that I'm trying to make here, let's go back to the Discord, because I can show off something in it. Oh, actually, this is perfect, too. And this is exactly what I was looking for. Okay, so this is the strategy that I'm referring to with the Epic Showdown Goku. Now, this guy, because he has so many different Dokkan Awakenings with different named units, he actually has 15 individual links. So if you start link leveling him here, and then all the yellow links, if you get them to level 10, once the yellow links are at level 10, you can Dokkan Awaken him to the next level. And then, by the end of getting all of these ones to level 10, you will have gotten 15,800 power level. But here's the kicker. As you're link leveling these guys, you have to Dokkan Awaken them between all these phases, which means if you're doing a full team of the Epic Showdown Gokus like this, you're going to have multiple Dokkan Awakenings added to your Dokkan Awaken counter every single one of these updates that happens every couple of days. So this is how I know for a fact that Megate is absolutely not using the Epic Showdown Goku strategy, or these numbers would absolutely never be the same with power level added on top. That wouldn't happen. It wouldn't be a thing. So, I know that Megate is not using that strategy. And that is the singular highest power level potential strategy in the game. So the fact that I will be using that strategy and Megate isn't is good for me. But I do worry that if he's got, you know, even just 100 more box space than me or something, it won't matter. So we'll have to see when Megate ends up stopping. I have tried my absolute darndest to find this player. I don't even know what language they speak. At first I was assuming it was French because the screenshots of their profile I'd seen were in French, but then I just realized that was probably because of whoever was viewing the profile has French on their thing, so I don't even know what country to begin to look for this player. Just, you know, I've scoured all across social media and stuff, haven't been able to find anything. Actually, though, on my YouTube, there is a player that goes by T-Backpack. I actually remember this player. I remember the name. I feel like this is someone that I maybe was on my friends list at some point, or I've communicated in with, like, in Toon Rami's Discord server or something previously. I don't know, but this player actually just said that they're I guess, somewhat retired from Dokkan right now, but used to know Megate and Zaptrix, like, had them on friends list. I'm curious, so I'm gonna have to reach back out to T-Backpack here and see if he's got any more information about these players, because that would be really, really interesting for me to know, right? Okay, so let's go ahead and jump back in game. Do we have anything else to take care of? Oh, yes, obviously. We still gotta do the Dokkan Day missions. We haven't even done that part yet. Let's see. Let's take a look and see what we gotta do. It's probably the same stuff as always. Yeah, so we already did the time chamber event. Oh, okay, so we're getting extra tickets. Okay, hold on. So we have to do the Turtle School intensive training and then just clear stages, level up a super attack. Great, yeah. I did 40 million of those already, but we've got to do it again. Okay, and then completing all of the missions as well. Okay, so it looks like, yeah, we probably should do the summons in this video as well. So we'll do some extra summons for GOMAH with these tickets. But first, let's go ahead and, actually, let me just make a cut. Let me just make a cut and do these really quick. There's no reason to really show these off on camera. It's simple stuff. And then I'll come back once we have the missions done. Alright, so we have gotten all of the missions done here. We are good to go. So now we've got our 14 tickets. Is there... There probably isn't more this time. It's probably just the 14, because I know sometimes we get the extra tickets from, like, the, Inevitable Showdown missions and stuff. But yeah, these were for the Part 1 banner, right? Okay, makes sense, makes sense. So we got the extra 14 from the previous Part 1 banner, and then we just get the 14, only for this banner here. But we do have the full 14, so let's go ahead and, jump on over to the banner here. Okay, so it should be just a direct duplicate of the GOMAH banner that we're already used to seeing. Yeah, perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay, so my luck with these tickets has been really, really bad. My luck with tickets in general is typically pretty bad. So I'm not really expecting too much here. I will say, though, I definitely caved hard to summon for GOMAH. I shouldn't have. I'm trying to really not spend, like, any money on this game anymore. Obviously, a little bit is required. Okay, we're going to pause right here because I just got a 17 and 18, which is a guaranteed combination regardless of who else is there. And we had a Whis. I swear to God if I get a GOMAH right now. But okay, so there's a couple of things. The first is, like I said, I'm trying not to spend money on the game anymore, and I have been spending significantly less money than in years previous, so that is definitely a plus in my opinion. Because of how overwhelmingly powerful GOMAH is, and the fact that he completely is groundbreaking to the game. He is, like, by far the best unit in the game. There's just no question. I had to get him. I didn't think it would make much sense to miss out on a unit like that when simply his existence might be able to clear a lot of different content that, you know, otherwise wouldn't be nearly as easy for me to do, especially because I am going to be missing a lot of the new releases that come out, right? Throughout, you know, just the rest of time, I guess. But yeah, so, like, he's someone that I could see being a hard carry through 2026, and someone that could help me out, like the next Beast Gohan type unit, right? So, definitely felt worth to get him. And I was extra encouraged to summon on the banner because, like I said, all of the featured LRs I did not yet have. So it was worthwhile for me to finally go in on a yellow coin banner and try and shore up some of those extra ones that I didn't have, and it did go well because I got everything. Now, it did suck that I had to go almost 1,000 stones, and after I had spent a little bit, I had already bought the ticket packs and bought some stone packs, just to at least get through the summon points and stuff like that, and I had started pulling the other units I needed, but then at that point, the only unit I was missing on the banner was GOMAH. I was still hard-pressed to get him, so I just kept going until I got him, and I was like, at the very least, I could just go until 1,000 stones, get the pity copy, and be done, and I ended up getting him with 170 coins instead of the 200 coins that I needed, so I got very, very close to pity, but just shy, right? So yeah, that's how all of that went, but here's the thing. I have a bit of a superstition when it comes to banner releases that my luck is better and better the closer to release that I summon. So if a banner drops immediately, and this is just from what I've observed over my experiences over time, and I think that if you were to look back at my summoning videos playlist on the channel, you might be able to deduce the same thing. When I summon, right when the banner comes out, typically speaking, I'll pull the unit. Pretty easily. Or at least just get fire luck, good stuff, lots of Dokkan Fests, things like that, right? When I wait a day or two, a lot of the time, even if I just go to sleep the night the banner happens, and then the next afternoon or something, I'm recording my summoning video on it, usually my luck is not as good. And for those times where I've waited days or weeks and done like an alternate, or, you know, an additional summoning session or something later on down the road when the banner isn't brand new anymore, but it's still around, I just don't get anything. So I was debating the idea of waiting for Dokkan Day, using the tickets first to see if I get GOMAH, and then if I didn't, being able to do some summons after that. But, again, the superstition thing. I was so worried that if I just passed up on the opportunity to summon for him right when the banner was new, that my luck wouldn't be as good. And, I mean, like I said, it stands correct. My luck was really good. I pulled a bunch of new units that I needed, right? So, that was definitely good luck. But here we are, a day later on the banner, which typically shouldn't mean good luck, and we're summoning with tickets, which should also not mean good luck. So let's see if this Whis is going to be here to bless us. Let's see. That will just actually be the stupidest thing ever. Okay, is it a double? So the single screen crack, but again, we did get the 17 and 18, so unless this is for 3 unfeatured units, it's gotta be for something featured. Okay. They are actually featured. That is not horrible. During my GOMAH summons, I did get 2 of them, which was enough to rainbow, and this is now the SSR copy. So that's one more unit added to the workshop that's got to be link leveled. But luckily, this is not actually a unit that needs to be, you know, that I have to worry about, like, super attack leveling. I can just feed in Kais and be good with it. So, yeah, that will work out perfectly fine. Let's go ahead and throw them in the workshop now. Awesome. Oh, they'll be on Dokkan Lineage as well. Okay. Cool. Okay. So, yeah, it looks like it was a little bit of a pump fake with that animation last time. Okay, and then nothing here. Yeah. So it's sounding like the ticket summons are going just about how I assumed they would, which is very good. Again, the only reason I would have been salty, about, you know, pulling a GOMAH right here is because I literally just spent $200 on him. So I would like to just kind of leave it at that ultimately. I mean, obviously a dupe, can't complain about a dupe. A dupe would be nice, but yeah, good off it. Spent enough on him already. So that's about what I expected to happen with those tickets. Alright, well, I think I've blabbed at you guys long enough. I need to get back in and start grinding away. I have now wasted almost the first hour of Dokkan Day. Yeah, not even grinding the time chamber event. So I gotta jump in and start doing that, get some massive, impressive power levels going, since I've been such a slacker lately. Got some catching up to do. So thank you guys so much for sticking with me. Let me know what is going on with your account right now, what the important grinds you have going on are, if you're still dealing with, you know, shoring up some destruction from the reverse removal update, how you're enjoying the new reverse removal update with the super attack leveling, if you've been dabbling with any of that, finding some cool combinations of units that can be super attack leveled that weren't possible before, right? Yeah, let me know. Always like to know what you guys are doing with your grinds as well. Alright, well, that is going to do it for this one. Thank you guys so much for sticking with me, and I will catch you guys next time. Peace!